Hello there, I'm Judi Vitale, and there's an eclipse coming. Today is Tuesday, June 14th, and tomorrow, Wednesday, June 15th, at about 4:14 in the afternoon Eastern Time, we're going to have an eclipse of the moon. This means that the moon is not going to be visible for some time over various parts of the world, extending from Eastern Asia, coming up, crossing through northern Japan, going up across northern Alaska, Canada, Greenland, and Iceland. Okay, there are a couple of things about this. Number one, never underestimate an eclipse, especially a lunar one, because in my view and my experience, they seem to be less about us doing something to make it manifest and all that kind of thing, and really they happen to us more. And I am certainly feeling this one. There are a lot of people who are talking about different little aspects that it's next to, and fixed stars, and not too far off the galactic center, but too far off, in my opinion, to be viable as like an eclipse in the galactic center. Okay, but what I am a little unnerved about is the way that it is aligned with Pluto, and only somebody who does Homburg school, symmetrical astrology, that sort of thing, is going to see that reflection. And so that's why I'm sharing that with you. I do practice that sort of astrology, and this is very powerful. I began to feel it really strongly on Monday. I had planned to drive to New York, and all of a sudden things started to happen in my life that made me realize I couldn't do the trip. I could do it, but I wouldn't enjoy it very much. And that was mainly because I had a lot to do, which is a great thing. It had to do with Sagittarius things in my life, publishing, because I do a lot of writing. And I just started to feel very out of sorts. The eclipse also, though it happens in Sagittarius, that's where the moon is going to be, the sun is also in Gemini. And we talked a little bit about, at the beginning of Gemini, when it went in like the end of May there, about how the whole Gemini-Sagittarius thing is about making a choice and making a commitment. And this is certainly something that is going to be interesting about this eclipse, because it's going to show us the results of making certain choices. Having just come after that Saturn station on Sunday night, I believe that it's also going to have the effect of like propelling us on to the next thing that we're doing. That's on the personal level. I think that we can make a lot of good use out of it, and to take the energy, take what happens in our lives, and just work with it. In my case, I'm going to stay home, I'm going to do my work, I'm going to be more relaxed, I'll be able to put more art into it, rather than just pounding it out on a train somewhere and getting back into that whole New York thing again. I love it, but, I also love my nice, calm, Pittsburghian serenity that I have here, with the birds tweeting and the leaves blowing gently and my little dog running around. I kind of like that. So that's going to be more conducive to what I need to get done in my life. I'm only telling you this so that you can think about what you can do in your life. On a world basis, I do believe this is going to be a rather interesting eclipse. I think more than just what we've already said about the celebrities. I said that I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger might have something, big happen. Maybe, what's his name, Anthony Weiner would make an announcement. I mean, these are little blips on the radar compared to what I feel coming along. I don't know. I'm a little concerned about the solar cycle that we're in, and the kinds of things that the sun is throwing out right now. What it could do to, those areas are very susceptible to magnetic fields and things of that nature, the part like way in the north, up in the polar regions. And so, who knows what kind of effect it could have on us in a long-term sense. There are also seismic areas, and eclipses do tend to bring those things around. One thing I do want to tell those of you who are in the United States, I did notice something that was kind of comforting for us. The planet Jupiter is on the descendant. That's the opposite of where the ascendant is, but it's in a protective place in the chart of the eclipse when you run it for Washington, D.C., which is sort of like running it for the nation, because that's where our capital is and all that. I kind of think that if something were going to happen, I don't know, somebody said, oh gosh, there's an eclipse, there's going to be a terrorist attack, I think that they would find out about the terrorist attack, much like they did last year, that one on May 1st, where they found it before it occurred, something like that. I feel as though we're protected. That's through my experience. I have seen these things. I once was almost in a terrorist attack in 1993, and I was with my little boy at the time, and he had Jupiter in this part of his chart at the time of the eclipse and at the time of the accident, and guess what? We weren't harmed. For some reason, I mean, he had an ear infection, so we weren't where we would have been on any other day, which was in the building where the terrorist attack took place. It was the World Trade Center in 1993. For those of you who are going like, what's she talking about? That's what it was. So, yeah, I would suggest looking up the solar cycles, but remembering that, in the United States, we seem to be protected from this one anyway. So, let's see what happens. As for Asia, I think that there will be, maybe some seismic things going on again, or still. And then, as I say, in the north, more of the effects of the magnetic storms. And of course, when you get over into Iceland, we have that volcano that keeps going off. And that's concerning as well. So, the important thing is to understand that, yeah, things are going to happen. Things are always going to happen. So, the best thing that you can do is be aware of them. Be aware of the way that you're developing as a human being, as a spiritual being, and to keep in contact with that at all times. And then you find out that what happens around you is much less important. You can help other people. You can, if you can't touch them or do anything, you can send good intentions their way or pray for them, some of us say. And that's the most that you can do at this point. But, try as best as you can to see how you can use the energy of this eclipse to propel yourself onto the next thing. Make definite choices, definite commitments to what you want. Because you can say that you want something all you want, but until you commit the effort, the time, and the intention to it, it isn't going to happen for you. So, that's what I have to say about the eclipse. If you have questions or comments, you can leave them on the video, you can leave them on the site, or you can send them to me personally if you really want to talk to me at Judi, Judi, at readthestars.com.